He's the wise king, he's the positive archetype of the masculine. And that's what he is, and so he's culture in its positive manifestation, and he gives rise to this creation, which is his puppet, which is what culture does, because you're a puppet of your culture, you're a marionette of your culture. And so maybe you could be more than that. And that's the other thing that's strange about this movie, and it's strange about the mythological way of looking at the world, because scientifically, deterministically, there's nature and there's culture, and you are the deterministic product of the interaction between nature and culture. There's nothing else to you than that. You're a deterministic machine, and you know, if you're a coherent scientist and you're a Newtonian, roughly speaking, you don't really have much choice other than to think that way, but that isn't how it seems to people, and we don't treat each other that way. The mythological world doesn't say that. It says that there's nature and culture, and then there's you, and the you that's in there has choices and a destiny, and that you actually affect the interplay of nature and culture in determining your own character, and it insists upon that. And our entire legal system is predicated on the idea that you do in fact have free will. The oldest stories we have, there's always the hero and the archetypal mother and the archetypal father. There's always those three things, there's never just two. So from the narrative perspective, there's always the implication that there's something autonomous about the hero of the story, and you know, you can't account for that. We don't have a good way of accounting for that from a scientific perspective. Do we have a scientific model for it? No. But then I would also say we do not have a scientific model for consciousness. We don't know a damn thing about consciousness. The phenomenologists like Heidegger, who tried to radically transform Western philosophy right from the bottom up, he basically said, well, you know, you can treat the world as if consciousness is primary and that human experience is reality, that's reality, and that it doesn't exist independently of consciousness in any explicable way. It's like, well, what's out there if there's nothing to experience it? Well, everything at once. It's not really comprehensible as without a subject. The subject defines it and makes it real. Now, you don't have to believe that, but you act like there's a you and that you make choices, and you certainly treat other people that way. Now maybe that's an illusion, possibly, but maybe it's not. And I would say the oldest stories that we have always include that as not only a fundamental element, but even as the fundamental element.